Every single byte of data your organization generates has a story to tell about what's already happened. The real question is, are you actually listening to it? Today, we're going to dive into the first and honestly the most critical step in any data journey, making sense of the past.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. We're going to start by uncovering the secrets that are probably hiding in your data right now. Then, we'll get into the art of looking back. From there, we'll see why this is the absolute bedrock for any real insight. After that, we'll get a bit more hands-on, looking at a super common use case, a powerful automated workflow, and finally, how this all comes together to build a truly intelligent knowledge base.
Okay, let's get right into it. Think about it. Raw data can feel like this locked treasure chest. Our first job, it's to find the key and uncover all those valuable secrets that are just sitting there, hidden inside.
I want you to just pause and think about that for a second. Your sales numbers, your website traffic, user engagement. What story did all of that data tell yesterday, or last week, or even last year? The answer to that simple question is where all true insight really begins. This analogy is just perfect. You wouldn't drive a car by only staring at the road ahead, right? Of course not. You need that rearview mirror to understand what's behind you so you can make smarter, safer decisions about where you're going next. And your data? It's exactly the same thing.
So, this whole art of looking back thing, it actually has a formal name. And believe me, it is the cornerstone of the entire field of data science. Let's put a really clear definition to it.
And that's it. It sounds simple, but it's so profound. Right now, we're not trying to predict the future or recommend what to do next. We are laser focused on just one thing, creating a crystal clear, factual summary of the past. It's all about establishing that baseline of truth.
And this isn't just some abstract theory. I mean, look at how it applies in the real world, everywhere. For operations, you're analyzing sales and managing inventory. For your customers, you're figuring out who they are and how they actually behave. For your finances, you're tracking revenue. And for performance, you're seeing if that big marketing campaign actually worked. It is truly everywhere.
Now you might be thinking, okay, looking back is nice, but I really want to predict the future. And you know what? That's the right instinct. But you just can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation. Let's talk about why this first step is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. So, why does this matter so much? Well, because if you skip this step, you're basically building fancy models on data you don't even understand. That's a recipe for disaster. As you see here, descriptive analytics is that solid foundation that everything else, all the cool predictive stuff, is built on. It helps us make sense of what can be really chaotic data. And in doing that, it helps us spot those hidden risks and opportunities, making sure we don't repeat the same mistakes over and over.
Okay, so let's get practical and see how this plays out in a really common scenario. So much of the data we deal with isn't just a single snapshot, right? It's a story that unfolds over time.
I mean, just think about it for a second. Daily sales figures, hourly server loads, monthly user engagement metrics. This is what we call time series data, and it is everywhere. Understanding its structure, things like trends, cycles, and those sudden, unexpected shifts is absolutely fundamental to doing anything useful with it later on. Now, you can probably guess that doing this kind of analysis by hand can be incredibly tedious, and it takes forever. The good news is, modern tools are here to help. Let's take a look at an open source tool called Sata. That means anyone can use it and even modify it. That gives us a really powerful automated workflow for this exact challenge. And the workflow is just brilliantly simple. First, it chops up your timeline. It automatically finds what we call change points, basically moments where the data's behavior suddenly shifted. Then, for each of those chunks of time, it breaks down what's causing the variation. And finally, this is the cool part, it uses AI to tell you the whole story in plain English.
This little chart here makes that idea of decomposition really easy to grasp. For a specific sales period, the tool might find that, hey, the underlying growth trend is actually driving 70% of the changes. Then, those predictable seasonal patterns, like a summer slump, they account for another 20%. And the last 10%? That's just random noise. Boom. Instantly, you know what's really driving your numbers.
And here's where it gets really exciting. After all that complex number crunching and statistical analysis, the workflow doesn't just throw a bunch of charts at you and say good luck. Nope. It uses a large language model to translate everything into a simple story. And there it is. That's the magic. You get a summary that's clear, it's concise, and it's understandable to literally everyone in the business. No statistics degree required. This is a massive, massive leap forward in making data insights accessible to everybody.
But hold on. The analysis itself, that's not the final destination. The real goal here is to turn these individual insights into a permanent, shared asset that your entire team can use.
This is such a critical shift in thinking. We're moving away from these one-off reports that just get buried in an email inbox somewhere, and we're moving toward a living, breathing knowledge base, a central hub where your team's understanding of the data just gets smarter and smarter with every single analysis.
And tools like KMDesk, which actually works together with SETA, make this whole thing a reality. You can add new insights as you find them. You can use a chat interface to ask follow-up questions about what you found. You can even export all this structured knowledge to go fuel other AI applications. It's all about making every single analysis count, not just once, but again and again.
So, we end right back where we started. Your data's past is already written down. It is full of answers to questions you probably haven't even thought to ask yet. The tools are here. So the only question left is, what will you ask it?